Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us this beautiful fall day, just before Thanksgiving. Well, a couple weeks, I guess, off, but beautiful, still color out there on the way to church. Beautiful day. Thank you for deciding to spend some time with us this morning here. It's a little chilly today, but it's warming up, and so keep your jacket close at hand. But I think we'll be fine. So thank you for being here. Many thanks to Linda Joel for being here this morning. Great. And I want to start with just a few announcements. One of them is just a thank you to everyone who helped out with the Coffee House Friday. Wasn't it wonderful? I mean, we were just so blessed. All the talented performers, the musicians. Joe did audios. Michael did video. There's going to be a video of the concert that's being edited, and it'll be put on the church YouTube.
It'll be posted today.
Oh, it'll be posted today. Super. So if you missed the concert and want to take a look at some of the performances, it'll be there. And we just want to thank everyone. Larry coordinated it, Larry Christ, and there was lots of people who brought food to share, refreshments. It was just really a lovely evening, and the church did itself proud as usual. So it was a lovely night, so we were grateful to everyone who made that happen. We're going to have a film at the church next Friday. I just got a notice about it online. It sounds wonderful. It's called Gratefulness Revealed, by a filmmaker, Louis Schwartzberg, and it's been kind of going across the country. They send you a DVD or tell you how to hook up to it. We're going to show that just in the back room on Friday, the 17th at 7 p.m. And just a quote from what it's about. It says, this film is about how gratitude is a proven pathway back from the disconnection we feel in our lives, from ourselves, our planet, and each other. Got a lot of good reviews, so looking forward to that. And Advent is starting in less than a month. December 3rd is the first Sunday, and our yogi teacher, Tamara Leeper, she loves doing these study groups, using some of these booklets from Unity worldwide, and they put out an Advent booklet every year. And so she's got a sign-up sheet in the back if you would like to join in an Advent study group using that. Either online, it could be online, or in person. So if you're interested in that, put your name and contact info down. And of course, we have a yoga class here at the church every Thursday at 1. So keep that in mind. It's free and it's suitable for people at all levels. Right, Linda? Right, Larry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. All right, many thanks to all of you for being here. And we'll begin to think about prayer. And remember, you can always send in a prayer request anytime, whether you're listening in online or any of us here. The quickest way to do that is go to our website, unitydelawareohio.org, and use that prayer request tab at the top. And it comes directly to us. All right, well, Linda Joel will prepare us for prayer with a song. We take these few moments in prayer to feel that deep gratefulness for the life of God in us and all that it means to us and makes possible for us. The path that lights before us, the guidance that comes, the deep love we feel, regardless of our circumstances or challenges we face. We know our oneness with God, and we are alert for possibilities, for reasons to be grateful. We give thanks this morning, deep in our hearts. Gratitude for our lives, for our loved ones, for the beautiful earth we're blessed to dwell upon, for the life all around us, for the animals and the birds and the fish in the seas, for all the rich blessings of our lives. We are truly grateful. We commit ourselves to remembering that gratefulness through the days before us. And we are alert to God's guidance and protection, God's steadying peace and enfolding love by day and by night. Thank you, God, for your unfailing power and presence in our very midst. Amen. All right. We're going to have another song by Lyndon Joel, and I guess it's a tune by Don Williams called Heart of Hearts.
In your heart of hearts, there is a voice. It speaks from truth and not from choice, and it sees it all, not just in part. It lies within your heart of hearts, in a secret place, known to your soul. You can't hide, but you can go when it's all too much, and you fall apart. There's a state of grace in your heart of hearts. Just listen to your life, it's talking to you. There'll always be a light that's running through you, flowing from a well that never runs dry. And when you're at that point, down on your knees, you'll find your weakness can be your strength. Where one ends, the other one starts, deep inside your heart of hearts. Just listen to your life, it's talking to you. There'll always be a light that's running through you, flowing from a well that never runs dry. And when you're at that point, down on your knees, you'll find your weakness can be your strength. Where one ends, the other starts, deep within your heart of hearts. And where one ends, the other one starts. Truth lies within your heart of hearts.
Nice. That's a lovely song. Thank you, guys. All right. Well, it focuses on gratitude and gratefulness. That's my title today. And so I've been thinking about that. We're going to be kind of focused on that for a couple of weeks here. So I was just kind of looking online for some interesting quotes and ideas about gratitude. So these are just some quotes about what gratitude means to people and what thoughts about it. Here's one about somebody named William Ward. Feeling great gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. That's true. There's always something to be thankful for. If you can't pay your bills, you can be thankful you're not one of your creditors. True. That's true. If you can't be content with what you have received, be thankful for what you have escaped. That's kind of punchy. It's got a punch to it. If a fellow isn't thankful for what he's got, he isn't likely to be thankful for what he's going to get. True. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. That's from Aesop. Remember Aesop's fables when you were a kid? Yeah. And I like this one. I can relate to it more and more as I get older. The thing I'm most grateful for right now is elastic waistbands. Yes. All right. Well, I visit from time to time as a wonderful website when I'm in need of a little inspiration called grateful.org. Brother David Stendal Rast is the founder of this, and you can go to it for just kind of reasons to be grateful. There's news stories that kind of give you hope and gratefulness, and I always find something on it inspirational. So I'm drawing on that a little bit today, and really focusing on kind of there's a distinction they talk a lot about on that website, and it makes sense to me, a distinction between gratitude and gratefulness. And I think we don't think about that enough, and I think it's a meaningful thing to contemplate. Gratitude is a wonderful thing. Somebody does a kindness for you or something like that, and you feel thankful. You feel gratitude for it. That's a good, warm feeling. But gratitude is a conditional thing. It's kind of transactional. Something happens externally, and you feel thankful for it. And so it's not a sustainable thing. It's not a way to meet life at any time in any circumstances. It's dependent on conditions, and so there's a lot of waiting involved in that kind of gratitude. You're waiting for good things to happen to be grateful for. Gratefulness is different than that. Gratefulness, it's grateful living. It's an orientation to life. It comes from the inside out, and it's not conditional. It's a way we kind of go toward life with gratitude in every moment, not a reaction. It's unconditional. I like this quote from that website. It's gratefulness is the gratitude that doesn't depend on what happens. It doesn't depend on what happens. It's grounded in a kind of gratitude for life. Brother David talks a lot about how all of life is really gratuitous. It's a gift. And we tend to forget that. It's gratitude for life. And when we kind of make life itself the root of our gratefulness, that's something we can trust and let it, we can move through life with that, open to possibilities and blessings in every moment, even in the difficult times. And it'll make us happier and bring us more peace in our lives. The Bible is packed with praise and thanksgiving. It's modeled and demonstrated and taught. I suspect in all faith traditions there's a heavy emphasis on gratitude. From Psalm 106, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever." Jesus taught and demonstrated thanks constantly. "I thank you, Abba, Lord of heaven and earth." Paul, "Give thanks to God at all times and for everything." I don't think he meant go around, uttering words of thanks. He meant go around with that orientation to life, that you're alert for blessings and ready to be grateful for them. So what does gratefulness look like? If you kind of go with that distinction, what does gratefulness look like? And I think one of the biggest things it's about is waking up. It's waking up. Waking up to the fact that all life is gratuitous, as Brother David says, being aware of the blessings we already have in our lives. And the more we aware of those, the more alert we'll be to more coming our way. It's sort of a matter of waking up to how blessed we already are. And I think we all have moments like this, possibly many of them. I know I have, but we're not always able to sustain it as a way of life, a way to meet life routinely, ready to be grateful, aware of blessings. So I was thinking about times like that in my life when I kind of woke up to blessings that I hadn't been fully awake to. And there have been lots and lots of them in my life, I'm sure. And I don't know why I happen to think of this one, very ordinary one, from years and years ago. I was in grad school, fairly early in grad school, so I was probably maybe 22 or something like that. And I'm always making the best choices. And there was a day.
Age 22?
Yeah. So I had a TA, I was broke. I had teaching assistantship. Some of you might remember what that was like. You get paid minimally to teach freshman composition or something. And everybody was broke that I knew, and there were especially English majors there. Everybody's apartments were furnished with concrete blocks and boards. Those were bookcases. You remember those kind of bookcases? And we ate poorly, bad food, cheap food, all that kind of stuff. I had a friend whose apartment was furnished with lawn chairs, foldable aluminum lawn chairs. This was not uncommon, that kind of thing. So it was quite a tragedy one day. I was rushed in the morning to get to class, so I decided to drive to campus instead of the fairly long walk I had, and parked somewhere a little too carelessly. And I came back at the end of the afternoon after teaching and taking classes, and my car had been towed. And so I got on the phone, found out, I had to call the police station, found out you had to come down with cash to get the car. So nobody had any money, so I called a friend, pulled together whatever cash we had. It involved coins and bills and whatever we could put together, went down there, and it was at night by that time. The bureaucracy of it took a long time. So it was probably about 11 o'clock, finally got out of the police station and headed to an impound lot on South High Street. Anyone ever have an experience like this? You remember, it's familiar. I hope that's not still happening to people, but it probably is. So we get to the impound lot somewhere on South High Street. It's probably 11:30 or so. I get my old Maverick, Ford Maverick, a trusty Maverick, and discover as I started up, the gears had all been stripped. I drove home very, very slowly in reverse. It's the only way it would go, knowing I was facing now a repair bill as well. So very slowly, being followed by my friend, very slow drive home. Probably got home around midnight, parked my Maverick out front, went up, and prepared a tasty Kraft macaroni and cheese. They were like 19 cents a box. Do you remember them? How many remember Kraft macaroni? Many of you. And sat down to eat it. My kitty was so glad to have me home, purring beside me, and it was like, oh, how sweet to be home, safe and warm. My kitty beside me, a nourishing mac and cheese on my plate. How blessed am I? Now, I hadn't felt that blessed the night before. Same blessings, same cat, same kind of food. So it's amazing how we can suddenly wake up. And often it's from things not going so well. All of a sudden we wake up to, wow, did I have it good and didn't realize it? How blessed I am with the comforts in my life, with the friends I have, with just all the creature comforts of my life, with the blessings of home and earth, and relationships. We tend to take them for granted. It's not sustainable for some reason for us. And I'm not too sure why that is, but it's a very common problem. I watched again this past week, some of you might remember the old play, Our Town. It's really kind of about that, a Thornton Wilder play, and there have been a couple movies of it, where Emily comes back kind of as a ghost, and she witnesses her life, her home, her parents, and her community, and she's so touched by it she can hardly stand it, and she says, does anyone ever realize life while they live it? Every day? And the answer is probably not. Most of us don't. It comes and goes. We have moments when we are aware that we're blessed. But then we forget. And I'm sure we've all had times, and I bet you have as well, where you look back on times, and it's very poignant. All it takes for me is looking through my library of photos on my computer, and you look back at all these wonderful times, pictures of people who maybe aren't here any longer, and you really get a sense of, how blessed I was in all those relationships. Many of the time I thought of a time like, when I was a kid and we went to my grandfather's farm, and before my grandfather had a stroke, which happened when I was 8, so I was probably 6, 7. There weren't any TVs or radios going. We would just sit out in that yard at night around a stone fireplace and stars overhead and just tell stories. Little ones in laps, other kids running around safe nearby. And what I wouldn't give to revisit that moment, maybe like Emily in Our Town, and feel that again, those blessings. But I bet at the time we were like most people, distracted, busy, worrying about when you're going to get those kids to bed, or who's going to get breakfast in the morning, or what it might be. We have this tendency to let the moments slip by and fail to be awake to what blessings they are. But the thing is, if we can learn to be grateful in ordinary times, be more aware of our blessings in ordinary times, we can then extend that into just an orientation to life, so that even when challenges come, we're awake and alert for blessings in it, for things to be grateful for in it, even in the midst of challenges. And people do this all the time. It's doable, and we've perhaps all done it. Even going through a tough time, you realize, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, and that can be sustaining through difficult times. I was touched by, and I'll just share one more story. I was really touched by a story I stumbled on. It's one of Steve Hartman's interviews. I like Steve Hartman. He does on-the-road things, and he interviews people around the country. And this was an interview with a man named Woody Davis in Corbett, Oregon. It was from several years ago. He was kind of getting up in years, an older man. He was always been kind of a jack of all trades in town, doing a lot of repairs and renovations and helping people a lot all around town, all kinds of things. And a really friendly guy, and always very generous. He just often he didn't even take pay, and they'd have to stick a check in his pocket. He just wasn't very focused on that. His needs were met, simple, and he just really loved all his neighbors and friends. He was noted for waving at everybody all day, driving around in his truck, and just a really well-liked guy. Well, he got diagnosed with ALS at a certain point, and for that last year of his life, as his neighbors got wind of what was going on with him, his diagnosis he was working with, they just rallied. They rallied and thought, we want to show how much he's meant to us, how grateful we are for his kindness and generosity over the years. So they kind of all worked together. It's a very small town. They formed a stacking crew that chopped and stacked his firewood for the winter. A couple guys fixed his old pickup truck to keep that going for him. And someone bought him a pine box that was going to serve as his resting place, and put it in a public, one of the buildings in town, and invited everybody in town to sign it. And it was covered with these love notes and gratitude expressions, and just the whole box was covered with that. People had time to do that. And Woody had time to see all that, and to warmly receive, and he gratefully received all these gestures, all these blessings. He said, I can't believe it, when Steve Hartman interviewed him, this outpouring of love and kindness. And this is what Steve Hartman had said to ask him to repeat this. He said, I'm so blessed that I'm dying slowly. I'm so blessed that I'm dying slowly because people have a chance to express to me how they feel. He had time to soak it up, he had time to let them do it, and he felt blessed by that. Now that's somebody for whom gratefulness has become such an orientation to life, such a way of meeting life, that regardless of the challenge, they're able to feel grateful and to be sustained by that and enriched by that. I think that's a powerful story. And what a beautiful thing to go into the hereafter in a box covered with love notes. Just a beautiful thing, I think. And the way gratefulness blossomed in that small town, that's a beautiful thing. That'll be sustaining for that town for years to come. I think grateful living is a practice, and it's not necessarily easy for us. I think it's something we have to kind of work with every day and remind ourselves, whatever the situation, and even in just the very ordinariness of our days, there are things to be very grateful for. The comforts, the pleasures, the relationships, the kindnesses that come out of nowhere, the beauty of the day. There's so much to be grateful for if we are awake to it. I like this quote from Brother David. I'll finish with that. He says, gratefulness is the heart's full response to the gratuitousness of all that exists. In gratefulness, we open ourselves to this gratuitous universe, and so we become fully graced with it. And in doing so, we learn to move gracefully with its flow, as in a universal dance, like that. Let's take that into a closing prayer, if we could. As we close our eyes, we feel our own gratefulness, that deep fullness within us, in our hearts, in our minds, as we remember how truly blessed we are to be alive, to be enjoying the beauties of this earth, to be enjoying the beauty of our relationships with our family, our friends, our dear ones, our pets, the beauty of creation all around us, the abundance of our lives. We are fully awake to it and will remain so. Thank you, God, for your unfailing presence in our very midst, now and always. We are truly grateful. So it is. Amen.
Amen.
All right, we're going to have another song by Linda and Joel. It's an Amy Grant tune. I don't think I've heard this one. It's called I've Got Two Hands.
One, two, three. I got two hands, gonna clap my hands together. I got two legs, gonna dance to heaven's door. I've got one heart, gonna fill it up with spirit, and I ain't gonna think about trouble anymore.
Well, this old world sometimes does you lonesome, and he's the girl whose heart we're having cried. Deep in my soul there is one more desert and fight. Keep the spirit deep inside.
I got two hands, gonna clap my hands together. I got two legs, gonna dance to heaven's door. I've got one heart, gonna fill it up with spirit, and I ain't gonna think about trouble anymore. Now the Lord resides within his house of glory. Faith is the door, and love is the key. And warm is the light pouring from those mighty windows, and that light, my friends, it shines for you and me. I got two hands, gonna clap my hands together. I got two legs, gonna dance to heaven's door. I got one heart, gonna fill it up with spirit, and ain't gonna think about trouble anymore. Oh, when I come into that final moment, I close my eyes and fly by home. I don't want no friends crying no tears about me. I'll be bathing in the glory of the throne. I got two hands, gonna clap my hands together. I got two legs, gonna dance to heaven's door. I've got one heart, gonna fill it up with spirit, and I ain't gonna think about trouble anymore. I got two hands, gonna clap my hands together. I got two